Okay, so today I figured I would add on to my album battle series, so I'm doing Miley Cyrus's Bangerz album versus Plastic Hearts. I hate the aspect ratio for this video, but we'll continue. So here's going to be the track list for both albums. This is for Bangerz, and then this is for Plastic Hearts, so you can kind of see like which songs are on both albums and which one kind of takes the cake for you. My pick for this is definitely going to be the Plastic Hearts album. I just think that it's the better album overall. There's only one song that I don't really care for, and that's a song with Joan Jett, Bad Karma, I think it's called. I just don't really like that song, to be honest with you. But besides that, I think that there's plenty of good offerings on the Plastic Hearts album, especially whenever we're talking about records like Hate Me, which has been my favorite song on that album, Plastic Hearts the song, and I really like the percussion in there and just the kind of pocket that she gets into. Angels Like You was kind of a fan favorite, and now if you look, it's one of her more popular songs because it kind of blew up on social media and whatnot. So that's a really good record on this album as well. What the Fuck Do I Know is such a good opener. All the instrumentation that's going on all the way throughout there and everything, and yeah, it just starts off the album on a really good note. High is a really great vocal performance on this album. Night Crawling with Billy Idol has always been one of my favorites. I just think it's so electric in terms of the energy of the vocals of both of them too. I think that they work together pretty well. You got the collaboration with Dua Lipa in Prisoner, which is a really good song. I just think that there's a lot to like on this album, and I think that Miley really falling into the rock experience was great for her. I think that she sounds great in terms of the vocals on here. I really like the production on here. I think it's pretty dynamic, great instrumentation and everything, and also songwriting I think is pretty strong. So that's why I like this album more. I think that it's Miley's best album, just really enjoyable, one of my favorite albums of 2020, and just deserved more overall. But RCA, they didn't promote it enough, and I forgot to talk about Midnight Sky, which was a really great single and deserves so much more. But RCA will rock. I'm so glad she's with Columbia now, who properly promotes her music and everything. But Plastic Hearts, you won't be forgotten. You won't be forgotten. In terms of the argument for the Bangerz album, it has a case. Bangerz, I think, is a pretty good album. I didn't hear it in full until this year with my friend. We listened to all of Miley Cyrus's discography together, and when I tell y'all, Bangerz was the first good Miley Cyrus album, and I'm talking about her solo albums outside of Disney. If we count Hannah Montana, that's a different conversation, but we're talking solo albums. Because when I tell you, I did not go up for the solo albums before this, okay? Especially Can't Be Tamed. The album was so lukewarm. It was so bad. And then she finally broke out, no pun intended, and we get a great album at Bangerz. I'm sorry. At the time, was she kind of going a little wild during the era and everything? Yeah, because I remember there was this one interview she did, I think it was New Year's, and she was wearing some coat or whatever, and she was like, this is the most clothes that I've worn all year. And she wasn't lying. She was doing it all, okay? She was everywhere. She was saying everything. She was doing everything. And yeah, just a lot to just kind of try to, deviate from the Disney image. Wrecking Ball, we remember the cultural moment that was, of course. We Can't Stop. It still sounds good all these years later. One of the best songs of the year. I don't care. We Can't Stop was a juggernaut, obviously. So, you had that. The Bangerz era, it was just a moment. 23 wasn't on this album, but, that was excellent too. And like I would say, there's cultural appropriation and cultural appropriation. And that's what she did with Bangerz. That's what she did with Bangerz, okay? So, I have to respect it. So, you had those songs which I mentioned, which were big. Adore You is probably my favorite Miley Cyrus song. I just think that it's beautiful. I just listened to it the other day. Her vocal on here, excellent. Love the songwriting on here. Love the productions on here as well. And then other stuff that I really enjoyed. Rooting for My Baby has always been one of my favorite Miley Cyrus songs, and I think that it fits nicely on the album. And then the collaboration with Britney Spears, I believe the song is called Bangerz. Yup. They did that for the culture. So you have to love it. Love Money Party minus Big Sean, because I don't go for him. I think he's mediocre, but that's a conversation for a different day. 8 on that song. Do You Think? An album, a moment. For all those songs, we had songs that were awful. The song with Nelly was awful. I thought that the song with Future was awful as well. There's probably 5 or so records on this album that I don't go up for, to be honest with you. But when this album is good, it hits. It was a cultural moment. I certainly can't take away anything from it. I just think that Plastic Hearts was just better all the way around. I think that her vocals on here were stronger. There was better production. There was better songwriting, and the songs overall were better. But Bangerz will not be forgotten as a cultural moment. So let me know down below in the comments which album wins for you and why, and let's continue that conversation.